Let's focus now, though, on the next race, the SuperSports 600cc. This is the circuit. We've got 15 bends on it. Some of them are really difficult. And one of the things, Steve Martin, that strikes me about this circuit is the undulation. You don't expect it. It seems a very flat part of the country, but the undulation can take you a little bit by surprise.
Yeah, when they made this circuit, I mean, coming here, you know, from the first time, it was absolutely incredible, and it does show lots of great racing, as we saw in the SuperSports 600 qualifying.
We have got the best of the qualifying here. This is Pirapong Boonlert, who would eventually finish second. Now, these guys are lapping 2:10. This is seriously quick. We're looking at 150 kilometers plus as an average speed.
It certainly is. I mean, you have to be on the limit to do that. That is getting in the realms of close to like the big bore super bikes, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are really going so fast, especially when you consider that half of the guys in the field are new to the class this year. So everybody with a lot to prove, including guys like the number 634 out there on track. The Musashi team have been here for a couple of years now on the Honda, doing a fantastic job.
Helmi Asman, bike 634, he was actually the Underbone 150 champion, and he is stepping up. Kazma Daniel is another young rider, really been looking forward to seeing with him. With the introduction of the super bikes, the SuperSports 600 is a much younger class. Some of the riders are coming up from Underbone, some of them are young riders who are maybe having been 15th or 16th in the championship. They'll now think they've got a chance of a title.
Absolutely, and they certainly have. Kazma Daniel, of course, he's been here for a couple of years now. And the thing with the class this year, there's an age limit of 25 as the maximum. So you have to be under 25 to be into it. And that's what's going to make it so exciting. Lots of young blood, lots of power, and lots of action.
We welcome back Mohammed Adam Noureddin, probably the biggest name. He's come back. He was in Moto 3. We had one or two moments as well. Oh gosh, that's an awkward one, isn't it? But Noureddin coming back, picking up pole position, a time of 2:10.021, average speed 1:53.474. Yes, that deserves a round of applause. Onto the grid itself. It's a 14-rider grid. They're separated by 3.5 seconds generally. Let's focus on the front three. Huiling is down, and I believe she is talking to the 1, 2, 3 on the grid. Huiling.
All right, thank you, Des and Steve. It is scorching hot here on the grid, but we are preparing for the first SuperSports 600cc race. And Adam, you are, of course, starting from pole in front of a home crowd here. How are you looking forward to the first race?
Yes, I never come to this championship, but I can see it's quite good competition here. And of course, we make really good job progressing from the test, and now this weekend we are more or less strong. So we will see. Now the weather is quite hot, and let's see if we can manage the race.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. All the best. And starting alongside Adam here is Pirapong Boonlert, who has just moved from the 250cc class to the 600cc. So Pirapong, of course, doing the pre-season test and all the practice, you are one of the fastest riders out there. We know you are quick here at Sepang circuit. How are you looking forward to the first full race of the 250 here?
Yeah, I will do the best because when testing day, I was very good, confident, and I will do the best in today.
Thank you so much, Pirapong. All the best. And completing the front row is another fellow Malaysian representing Hong Leong Yamaha Malaysia, Kazma Daniel. Kazma, new bike in front of your home race and a very hot weather. How are you looking forward to the first race?
Yeah, for my first race, I will try to get the podium with this new bike. And last year I used the old bike. Then it's really hard to handle. Then now I get the new bike, then new challenge for me. And this is also my favorite track. Then I will do my best for this race.
All right, thank you, Kazma. Good luck. And that is it from me on the grid, and back to Steve and Des in the studio.
Thank you very much, Wheeling. Yes, 61 degrees down on the track it is, so Wheeling is certainly working hard, as are the riders, as are the pit lane girls, because you want shade in that kind of heat. Let's talk about Adam Norridin, back in Malaysia on the Asia Road Racing Championships. He's been in the Cub Prix Championship. He won the was in the Asia Talent Cup. Then he went to MotoGP. What's the difference for you? People keep saying that this holy grail is the MotoGP, and yet they struggle often when they come back to ARRC.
Yeah, well, it's the quality of the field here in the Asia Road Racing Championship has just grown year on year, race on race. And with guys like Adam Norridin coming back into the championship, and yes, he got pole, but I'll tell you what, he didn't get it by too much, did he? So it's it just goes to show you how the level of the racing has increased here in this championship.
Number of Malaysian riders in the SuperSports 600. Ahmad Afif Amran is one of them. Andy Farid Idzahar as well. Now, these are guys who we've been watching in the ARRC in the 600cc's, but they were very often a little bit further down. The introduction of the 1000s has meant that the likes of Aslan Shah, Zakwanzadi have moved up to the 1000s, but it gives a chance in the spotlight to the Kazma Daniels, to the Farid Idzahars, to the Azroy Hakims, and even to the Helmi Asmans.
Absolutely. We heard Kazma Daniel say that he's looking forward to riding his new bike. He was on an old model Yamaha last year, and I mean his results didn't really reflect the performance that he could. He's on the front row on the new bike, so that's very, very impressive stuff by him.
Here is Azroy Hakim. There's a bit of history for the Musashi Bunsu Honda racing team. They're used to winning the SuperSport 600. I think they won 6 on the bounce. And next to him is his teammate Helmi Asman, stepping up from the 150s to the 600s. He did race a couple of 600s last year, and then the one XOX team of Ramdan. But that step up from the underbones to the 600s is a big leap.
It certainly is, but I'm looking forward to seeing Helmi Asman. I really love the way he rides a motorcycle, and to see him on the 600 in this class, I think it's the right step for him. I think it's going to be entertaining, and I think he's going to, you know, once he adapts to that Honda, of course carrying the famous number 634 as well, he will be a guy to watch in this class.
14 on the grid. We have got riders from Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines and New Zealand. Liam McDonald from the renamed Victor Racing team for New Zealand will be in 14th place. Here is the grid as it stands. Adam Norridin, welcome back, Adam. He's on pole position, but only just ahead of Pirapong Boonlert for Yamaha Thai Racing, and Kazma Daniel, who's a favourite of mine, been following this lad since he was a 13-year-old, and he's a real talent. Kritchaporn alongside the Malaysian Ahmad Afif Amran, and Andy Farid Idzahar completing the first 2 rows of the grid. A bit further down, Azroy Hakim, well capable of getting up into a podium. Helmi Asman knows what it's like to win, plus they're used to racing on this circuit, as is Ramdan Rosley. In 10th place, we've got Pasawit on the AP Honda for Thailand. Next to him, Reza Danik Arans, who was a champion at AP 250 last season, and alongside him, Fakhur Razi. On to row 5, and Liam McDonald is joined by Troy Alberto on the UZ Honda Racing team and the Victor Racing team. Talk to me about the Victor Racing team.
Yeah, of course. The Victor Racing team's formed new this year. Unfortunately, the owner of the Wee Bike team passed away at the end of last year, sadly, and in remembrance of Victor Lim, they've now continued the team, and they've called it the Victor Racing team. So a heartfelt thanks to everybody involved in that, in keeping the spirit going of Victor Lim.
Steve Martin with the analysis of today's action.
Well, my analysis is this is going to be a really good race, because there's 9 new competitors that haven't been on the racetrack in this class together. All of the top guns from last year, well, they're gone. They're doing other things. So I really don't know. We've got some good young guys coming up. Kritchaporn from the 250s, of course. Helmi Asman, the champion from last time out as well in the underbone 150s, like you said. Reza Danica is even out there too. So there's quite a few names that we're used to seeing at the front in other classes that are going to take the field here today in this class. Some of them have got 600 experience, Des, and some of them haven't. So it'll take a little while to see where we're at, but the 600 class this year proves to be a pretty exciting prospect.
All of the Malaysians, though, have got a lot of experience of this Sepang circuit, and home knowledge can be so important.
It certainly can. Especially when you've got a track as wide as this, 16 metres wide at its widest point, but there's you've really got to have a good track knowledge and a good base to be able to get those fast lap times, especially on these bikes. It's all about corner entry and all about corner speed, and all about getting to that checkered flag first.
Top lap time 2:10.021, 153.5 kilometers per hour average speed for Adam Norridin from the SIC Junior ZK Racing, riding the Yamaha YZF, Yamaha 1, 2 and 3. The Hondas on the CBR 600, looking with Critchipone and Andy Farid and Azroy Hakim just to try to dent the confidence. Flags are off, lights will light up, and then we will be underway. We are indeed underway for the first of 10 laps of the SuperSports 600. Good start from Pirapong Boonlert. Interesting line taken by Adam. Adam Norridin has actually been swallowed up and will finish in P4. He'll just go on the inside, but not the best start. But Pirapong Boonlert got off to a flyer.
No, absolutely. It's quite a long race around this circuit, though. So, oh, big crash at the back of the field there. Just quite catch the number of that rider. We'll let you know as soon as we know who it is. But it is Kazma Danielle who leads out front at the moment. With the number 26 in behind him. Pirapong Boonlert takes second position out there on track at the moment. Yes, but as you say, Adam Norridin probably expected to be way out in front by this point, but that is not the case. He's going to have to work for this one, Des.
I think it was Fakruzi who was the victim of that first corner mayhem.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, of course, for Cruzy. Last year was in the 150 underbones. Another faller there in the background. Not sure who that is. We'll have to keep you an eye. It looks like a Honda rider. One of the Honda riders has gone down there.
It's all happening at the tail. I'm just wondering if they're pressing too hard just to try to get up with the leading rider.
There's 9 new guys in this field. Now, these slicks are a lot different and there's a lot more power than riding on a 150 or a 250. So you've got to let these things warm up. You've got to bed everything in. If you ride this like a 150 or a 250, you're going to end up fighting the dust. And a couple of guys have learnt that rather quickly.
Adam Norridin currently in third place. The man leading the way is Kazma Daniel. Kazma Daniel, who I've enjoyed watching grow up, and now is leading this SuperSport 600cc race. Adam Norridin just into third place there, and one of the Musashi Bunchu Hondas is up into fourth as they come down the long penultimate straight for the first time. Bit of a line already, but it's a field that was 14, reduced now already to 12.
And there goes the number 26 up the inside, Pirapong Boonlert. Didn't take him long to get back out in front. Run a little bit wide, he's left the gap open. But as you say, I'm really impressed to see Kazma Daniel on this new R6 Yamaha. He's adapted to it brilliantly after his old machine, and he's now a front runner.
Helmi Asman has got himself up into third place as well, 6.34, alongside Norridin. So Adam Norridin's return to Sepang isn't quite going as smoothly as he would have liked. Adam drops himself into third place. He's in the red and black with the white helmet. But interesting that Helmi Asman is giving him a real battle, and as well close to him is Andy Farid Idzaha. So the top 5 all pretty close, although look at that, Reza Danica in a good battle with Pirapong Boonlert at the front.
Yeah, it's just another dive up the inside there by Andy Farid Idzaha, trying to get past Norridin. Norridin, an incredible lap time in qualifying, but he's certainly got to work for it here. Meanwhile, out front, the two Yamaha boys are just starting to open up a little bit of a gap. He can't afford to do this. Oh, loses the front end there. Norridin lost the front end. He managed to save it and pick it and gather it all together. Just asking a little bit too much from that Dunlop front slick, trying to carry too much corner speed too early on.
Farid Idzaha in fourth place behind him, but you called it quite rightly, the Yamaha.
Oh, there's another big one in the background there, Des.
Well, it's the bike. Luckily, the rider is chasing happily. Pasowit and Fakruzi are already casualties.
Yeah, they were the two fallers earlier on, and we'll find out who this one is very soon. It could be, don't want to speculate, it could be a Musashi bike there. We'll find out very soon.
everything happening at the back. Again, I'm just wondering whether they're pushing a little bit too hard, a little bit of inexperience. As you said, half the field are new to this class.
They certainly are, and as we'll reiterate again, you do need to warm these tyres up. You need to bed yourself in. If you're not used to the power of these 600s, boy, they can certainly bite. We've seen that. So let's hope that all those guys are okay and they can make it back out on track for tomorrow's race.
Foot down, Pirapong Boonlert steps in, the Yamaha Thai racing rider.
Well, no problem from him coming up from 250 because he finished 8th in the 250 championship last year and he's leading the 600 championship this year.
Ahead of Kazma Daniel and Adam Noradin in 3rd, Andy Farid, Helmi Asman in 5th, Hakim Amwar in 6th. Ramdan Rosley's got himself up to 7th and Afif Amran in 8th, Pritchapur 9th. Reza Danica not really making much of a dent on the top 10, but he's still in there, and as you say, there's a long way to go.
That other faller was Troy Jacob Alberto, so unfortunately for him, that's his race over. We saw him walking back just a second ago to the pit box. Looks from the onset that everybody that's fallen off is okay, but meanwhile, this is closing up just nicely at the front.
Noradin in 4th.
Yep, Helmi Asman just at the back of that group now, and the Yamaha duo aren't pulling away, which is good to see.
The gap at the end of lap 1, just trying to see, was it was just under a second, 0.8 of a second between 2nd place Kazma Daniel and Adam Noradin, and that doesn't seem to have grown much at all.
No, well in fact that second group there is on the splits just slowly starting to catch up to the guys in front, so, and you can see that coming down now. Helmi Asman looks up the inside, can't do it there, but yeah, that gap is just starting to come down 10th by 10th, so let's hope that they can pull Pirapong and Kazma Daniel back and make a race out of this.
Corner 11, they'll go into the left-hand, right-hand, 12 and 13 before there's a sharp ride down into the penultimate lap, penultimate straight. Here is the start. Not a great start for Noradin. Pirapong getting off to a great start, but one or two strange lines being taken there.
Certainly was. They were pretty much all over the place heading into there. For Noradin, you've got to remember that he's used to a Moto 3 bike, probably hasn't done too many starts on a big 600, so we'll forgive him for that one, but he's had his warning. He needs to get it right tomorrow. Steve
Martin, the nice guy, don't believe it at all, as we have got 7.5 laps remaining. Coming through in the lead, quite a considerable lead is Pirapong. It's half a second of Kazma Daniel, who himself is 0.8 ahead of Andy Farid. Adam Noradin is in that little group, and Helmi Asman in 5th. Adam Noradin, I think, has decided he needs to make some kind of a move just to get closer to the front two.
Yeah, he certainly does, but he had that warning earlier on, if you remember, probably a lap or so ago. He nearly lost the front end and crashed out, like we've seen a few of the guys, so he's probably going to have to take a little bit of time to get that confidence back, because the last thing he wants to do is crash out. But meanwhile, the two Yamaha guys out front are just starting to open that gap up again.
Azroy Hakim is closing in on his teammate Helmi Asman in Musashi Bunsu Honda. They are P5 and 6. We're so used to seeing them as P1 and 2 in SuperSports 600, but this season 24 of the ARRC is a different animal, a different beast. We go up to the 1000s a little bit later on this afternoon.
Yeah, that'll be a good race to watch as well. Really looking forward to seeing the first one of that. So do not turn your TV set off after the 600 race, because we've got another one to go. Remember that.
Catch up on AARC.com. Also catch us on Facebook as Adam Noradin cautiously leads into there. I'm trying to work out whether he's making any headway on those front two or just being able to maintain the existing distance.
Well, I think that at the moment, another moment there that looked like that was possibly Helmi Asman that just had a moment there with the rear end of his bike, getting on the gas a little bit too early on the edge of the tyre. Manages to hold it all together. A lot different to the 150 you were riding last year. You can just see there he's on the gas, the rear comes around, lucky to get away with that one. Definitely doesn't react like the 150, the big 600s.
What goes through your mind as a rider when you know something's gone wrong?
Well, at that point, a proper professional rider, that will affect him for about a half a tenth of a second, and then it's out of his mind. If it's affecting him now, he needs to pull over and take up golf, because you know, the bikes do that 1 or 2 times every lap. That's why we just sit and watch this, Des.
Absolutely. Sitting and watching are the crews, and quite happily to see if Pirapong can keep this lead. He's alongside Kazma Daniel, and Kazma Daniel not making any efforts, I think, to get in front of Pirapong at this stage. As you say, it's a longish race. We're only now into lap number 4.
Yeah, Kazma Daniel there sitting just behind the man in front, and I perhaps think that he's hoping that Norodin will draw him forward. I guess the other thing that you've got to remember from these guys is they've watched Norodin in MotoGP, in Moto3 for the last 3 years. He's a bit of a figurehead as well. You know, a lot of respect is given to him as a rider, and the last thing you want to do is do something silly. So when the move happens, it's got to be a clean move.
Bike 77, Norodin is the man who's leading that second little group. Also in there is Helmi Aslan, bike 634 in P5. They're the sandwich for Farid Idzahar. Those first 5, less than 1.8 seconds separating them. Then Azroy Hakim is trying to make headway in P6, but not really being able to, as they come out into the open country in Sepang. Track temperature going up by the minute, 62.5 degrees out there. And the riders will be okay once they're out on the track.
Yeah, an incredible ride. I mean, how smooth does Pirapong Bunalert look out in the front? He really does look smooth. You can see his unique style, the different styles between those 2 riders as well. He really does tuck in and get that elbow down compared to Kazma Daniel behind him. But that's a testament to how good the Yamaha is. 2 guys there with 2 unique, different riding styles, and both doing a great job. So good to see Pirapong Bunalert with the leg hanging out there as he heads into that turn 14, as smooth as you like. Meanwhile, back a little bit. Oh!
That's just lost it. Andy Farid Idzahar lost the front end, couldn't control it, and then has to take rapid evasive action.
Yeah, the back, the front went a little bit, then the back came around and threw him over the handlebars. Luckily, it was one of those slow-speed corners, but unfortunately for him, that's the end of his race. But it's moved Ramdan Rosali up the field a little bit, so good to see for him. But yeah, unfortunately, once again, got to be so careful on the edge of the tyre, especially with the track temperature now reaching 62+ degrees. It's really, really hot out there.
We keep talking about tyre management. There is the bike of Andy Farid Idzahar.
He's tipped in here, got on the gas way too early. It's flicked him over the top. There's no coming back from that. That's the end of his day, unfortunately.
A very ungracious little flip onto his backside as well.
Yep.
Nothing was good about that for Andy Farid.
No, unfortunately not. But Norodin now sits in 3rd position, just with the Helmi Asman behind him there. That gap is 1.3 now, so 1.3 to the leading Yamahas. And you can see Norodin now after that's got quite a handy little gap compared to, I think it's Helmi Asman, who should be pretty happy with that 4th place that he's in at the moment.
Sharp left onto the right, turn 10 and 11. Plenty of space. It's looking just a little bit spaced out at the moment, but Kazma Daniel not giving Pirapong Bunalert any real freedom, although Pirapong does occasionally pull 5, 6, 7 bike lengths clear. Need to see what happens as they come into the penultimate straight, which will come into vision right now.
Got to take a bit of a bow too also for Azroy Hakim. He's doing a fantastic job. He finished last year in the championship 13th, didn't win a race, but this is the most competitive he's been as well. So Hakim there is doing a great job. Azroy Hakim in 5th position, just behind him is Ramdan Rosali.
Safely around the hairpin this time. Pirapong Bunalert still leads. He has led from lap number 2, and with just 4 remaining, he is still the man who has got to be overtaken. Kazma Daniel sticking right to his shoulder, and Adam Norodin for Malaysia trying to get the Negara Coup being played after this particular race, but at the moment it's the Thai national anthem that is in the lead. In fourth, Helmi Asman. Fifth, Azroy Hakim. Ramdan Rosley, sixth. Krichapon in seventh. And Reza Danika's got himself up to eighth, but he's 13 seconds down on the leaders.
Of course, we know Pirapong from his exploits in the 250 championship in the last couple of years, but he's got 600 experience racing, of course, in 2017 in the Suzuka 4-hour race on a 600 machine, and he won that. So he certainly knows how to punt one of these 600 machines around the racetrack. And I'll tell you what, he knows how to do it for a long time, because to win that 4-hour race at Suzuka in similar heat is pretty impressive stuff.
There is the gap, and it is a growing gap between Pirapong Boonlert and Adam Noradin. It was a manageable 0.8 of a second. We're now beyond 2 seconds, Steve Martin. Does that suggest Pirapong is dragging away, or Adam Noradin is slowing down?
Well, I reckon if we just have a quick look at the lap times, you know, Pirapong is doing some incredible lap times. He's just set his fastest lap of the race that time through. He's putting the power down. He's Kazma Daniel 2:10.5, 2:10.4 for Pirapong Boonlert that time round. And Noradin is in the 11, so 2:11 for him. So these two guys out front are getting faster and faster and faster.
Kazma Daniel sticking doggedly to the back wheel of Pirapong Boonlert. Is he just keeping something in hand? Is he playing on the slipstream and hoping for an opportunity in the last lap?
He certainly is, but he's gone wide. Kazma Daniel has run a little bit wide there. That's allowed another bit of a gap to open up between those two guys. They might both be Yamahas, of course, but two opposing different teams as well.
The gap is over half a second between Pirapong and Kazma Daniel as we come into lap 3. That was a bit of a mistake by Kazma Daniel. Doesn't want to let things get too far away. The Musashi Bunsu Honda having their own little internal battle. P4 and 5. Helmi Asman in 4. Azroy Hakim Anwar in P5. But they are close to 5 seconds down on the race leader. But let's just focus on the Hondas. We're used to seeing them at the very, very top with the Zakron Zaidis. Now they're P4 and P5, but it's a lot of personal pride at stake.
Oh, it certainly is between these two guys. Of course, Helmi Asman, new to the championship. Great job by him coming here from that 150 championship that he won. I guess the natural progression would be to move to 250s and then the 600s, but he's jumped a complete step, and I can see why, because to be up there in 4th position in your first race out is very, very impressive stuff. Azroy Hakim, good job by him too. Teammate, of course, to Helmi Asman in front, and he's keeping him honest at the moment, is Azroy.
That gap at the front is getting bigger and bigger. Pirapong Boonlert, I feel, has taken advantage of that slight mistake on the previous lap by Kazma Daniel, where he went light. A little bit further down, this is the battle for P6. Ramdan Rosley alongside Krichapon. We've got a number of casualties already. Fakruzi and Pasowit and Troy Alberto are already out. Andy Farid Idzahar as well. So we will just have 10 finishers. Liam McDonald for the Victor team is 34 seconds drift of Ahmed Afif Amran. So Liam is unlikely to get into the top 10. Top 9. He is in the top 10.
It's Yamaha Thailand versus Hong Leong Yamaha Malaysia. The two Yamaha teams out front there at the moment. There's Kazma Daniel once again, just gets it sideways as he heads into that turn 14. Beautifully prepared machines, both of them. And it's the man, Pirapong Boonlert, the number 26 machine out front at the moment. Kazma Daniel giving it everything he's got, but I think that he can sense that the number 26 is just starting to open that gap out to an amount that's too much. I think this man here, number 77, Adam Noradin, things not going his way after getting pole position.
Absolutely. Kazma Daniel lost 0.6 of a second on Pirapong Boonlert on that last lap. That is a lot of time to overcome with just 2 laps remaining.
Well, Pirapong's last 2 laps are 2:10.433 and a 2:10.4 the last 2 laps in a row, and his best lap was the last lap before, so that's very impressive riding by him. It's Hakim now looking up the inside.
Hakim in the little Musashi internal battle. Helmi Asman was for a long time competing for P3. Now He's struggling back in. Well, he's got himself back in 4, but Hakim Azroy is really making it difficult for him. Down in 6th, Ramdan Rosli, Krichapon, Reza Danika's got himself up into the top 8. But that's, I suspect, as good as it's going to get for Reza Danica. And I suspect it might be as good as it's going to get for Kazma Daniel. Second behind runaway leader, Pirapong Boonlert.
To put that in perspective, like qualifying 2:10.0, so their race times are very, very close to the qualifying times at the moment. So after 10, 12 laps on these Dunlop slicks, so it's a very, very impressive start.
1.194 the gap between 1 and 2. And as you can see, it's increased in each of the previous 3 laps. Half a second, 0.4 of a second. That one mistake at the end of lap 5 on the final corner from Kazma Daniel just seems to have been the impetus that Pirapong Boonlert needed.
Absolutely, but that's what Pirapong Boonlert's been doing. I mean, just look at how smooth he is. Look at how perfect he is. The same action in the same spot every lap. He tips it in. He's like a Swiss watch the way that he makes his bike move, and he's just been piling the pressure on, not making any mistakes.
Hazroy Hakim looks on the inside, was never really going to get there, but that's a good little battle. Helmi Azman knows that he's going to have to work hard for a 4th place finish. A place on the podium is unlikely for Masashi Bunshu Honda. As we are into the final race, it is Helmi under pressure from Hazroy.
Sure that Helmi's going to give it everything. We know from the 150s he's a last lap expert. He knows how to dive up the inside if he has to. So keep an eye on him. That it will be the battle for 4th position. But it looks like it's Pirapong Boonlert's race to lose from here as he heads up the hill and back over to the last sector of the circuit. Out of turn 4 and into turn 5 he goes. The long left-hander, and he'll change direction, flip over to the right just as he gets through here. Very tricky part of the circuit, very easy to lose the rear end.
He has made time up on the man behind him, Kazma Daniel, in each of the last 4 laps. That's just consistent. Very often it's so easy if you're in the lead just to maybe let the concentration waver a little bit.
It's a very tricky situation to be in the lead of a race like this, because you never know what quite is the right move to make. Do you keep it smooth? But I'll tell you what, Kazma Daniel's not given up yet. He is really putting the pressure on this last lap.
Through 9, on to 10. If he is going to make a move, or if there is going to be a mistake, it's got to happen pretty soon. Kazma Daniel, currently in 2nd place, will be happy with the podium, will be much happier if he could pick up an unexpected victory into the final quarter of a lap. Just one real hurdle to overcome, and that's make sure you get into the right position coming into this penultimate straight, the long straight. Kazma Daniel will chase Pirapong Boonlert, but there is the gap, and Adam Noradin in 3rd place. Barring a catastrophe, that will be our 1, 2, 3, Steve Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. Great result it will be for Pirapong Boonlert, and also Kazma Daniel as well. Kazma Daniel never having a podium in this class before. I'm sure that Pirapong Boonlert is the same as he heads over the line now. For Pirapong Boonlert, what a comeback into this fantastic 600 class, and he takes the win and the victory here at Sepang.
The victory by 1.255 ahead of Kazma Daniel, by nearly 5 seconds ahead of Adam Noradin. A podium from Adam Noradin on his way back. A very reserved congratulations on the Yamaha bench. But it is Pirapong Boonlert for Thailand who prevents Malaysia getting a place on the top table. Azroy Hakim beating Helmi Azman. He made the overtake on the final lap to win that individual battle for P4. But this is the man, Pirapong Boonlert, from almost the end of lap 1. He was in control.
He certainly was. He got a great start. He put the pressure on. The thing is, he never made a mistake. He never looked out of shape. We saw many others crash and fall by the wayside and get sideways in the braking area, but he did the same thing on every corner, on every lap. Even on the slowdown lap, he's just looking perfect out there. He really has clicked with that R6 Yamaha. The Yamaha Thailand team and him have worked really well together. But I take my hat off to this man here too. Look at how happy he is. Like incredible job by Daniel Kazma there to get his first podium, I'm going to say, in the class. At least he didn't get a podium last year, so he's going to be one happy man. And also Adam Noradin to make his comeback from Moto 3 into this class. Of course, he didn't get the win that he wanted and we thought he might get after getting pole. But I'll tell you what, to come back into a new class and get a podium, not much of a better way to start.
In terms of learning for race number 2, because there are 2 races each weekend tomorrow, what will this group of Kazma Daniel and Adam Noureddin think that they've got to do to stop Pirapong?
Well, they've all got a race under their belt now. So when you practice and when you're doing your practice, when things don't feel right, you pull in too early. So there is an opportunity now for them to go, well, this is what it felt like.
Pirapong, Kazma Daniel, Adam Noureddin, Azrai Hakim, Helmi Azman, Ramdan Rosli. 5 of the first, 6 are Malaysian. Sadly for them, it's a tie who won it. Pirapong, Kritchipon in 7th, Reza Danica in 8th place, the Indonesian on the Honda. Completing it, Ahmed Afif Amram picking up points, Liam McDonald, picking up points for the Victor team. Non-finishers were Andy Farid, Troy Alberto, Pasawit and Fakruzi. We haven't had any word that any of them are in serious discomfort. So a calmish race, really controlled as he gets a little bit of wind and a little bit of cool, because that's the only real difficulty that he had out there. A consummately professional performance from Pirapong Bunlet, the 21-year-old. He was an also-ran much of last year, 8th, 9th overall for the previous 2 years. This year, genuine contender.
Absolutely, fantastic job by him. As smooth as you like out there. Looks like his biggest issue was it was a little bit too hot for him out there on track, but in all, to come into the class and do the job that he did, fantastic. He's got 600 experience and a lot of it. We didn't see that in the past due to the fact that he raced in the 250 class for the last couple of years. But I tell you what, he deserves the 600 ride, and he now leads our championship.
That'll do me as well, says Kazma Daniel. And Reza Danica, I was looking forward to seeing if he could make any headway. 8th in the end for Reza Danica. Adam Noureddin, he'll be happy, satisfied?
I think so. I mean, it's a big jump from a Moto 3 and Moto GP field to come to this class. But I guess the thing that he learnt today was it's not going to be easy to come into this championship and expect to win, because boy, is there some tough competition here.
I think we can go down where Wheeling will be talking to the top 3 at the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championships. This is the Asia Production 250cc race. We haven't quite got Wheeling yet. She's just trying to get Pirapong away from his teammates, and Kazma Daniel and Adam Noureddin as well. But when we do, I'm looking forward to seeing what the reaction is of Kazma and Noureddin in particular to their performance.
Right, thank you, Stephen. Adam, congratulations picking up your first podium here in the very first race of the 2019 season. Share with us, how was the race overall?
Syukur Alhamdulillah, really grateful. You know, this is my first time with 600 racing in the Asia Championship. Was really fantastic. But I was so struggling in the front, but generally it was really good to progress. And we will try again for tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Adam. And coming in 2nd place today, Kazma Daniel Kasmayuddin. Kazma, congratulations on picking up a 2nd place. At the start of the race, you were able to inch a little closer to Pirapong. Tell us what happened towards the end of the race.
Yeah, actually, I want to try to follow the pace Pirapong. I want to try to follow him. And I know my pace can follow him. Then I try to follow him until 2nd last lap or 3 last lap more. But he cannot, because I do some mistake. My gearing is cannot going downshift. So 2 times I go outside, then I come inside, I try to control my pace. Then thank you. Hon Leong Yamaha, thank you Malaysia. Thank you everybody.
All right, thank you so much, Kazma. And picking up his very first win in the SuperSports 600cc, Pirapong Bunlet. Pirapong, very good performance today under very hot temperature. Share with us, how do you manage to control your pace and the tires in the front?
When pre-practice, I think only how to control the tire. And firstly, I want to thank to my team and my family. Today was my day. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Pirapong. Congratulations, and we will see all 3 riders on the podium.
Taking in the high energy drink, it was certainly hot out there. Reaction to the Kazma Daniel and Adam Norin, they seemed very happy with third. Is it just me who feels they should be frustrated?
You know what? First race of the year, to get that out of the way, get on the podium, I think you've got to be happy with that. If it's the same story tomorrow, well then, yeah, ask some questions.
Second place on the podium for Kazma Daniel, but it was Boonlert right from the very start. He got the fastest start and led from the very first corner. Well, Kazma Daniel was in there temporarily ahead of him, but Pirapong Boonlert soon flexed his muscles, got himself in front, and thereafter, it's not a procession, but he was able to pull away. One or two nasty moments early on. I think that's Fakruzi first. We'll see Pasowicz crash out in just a moment. And then Troy Alberto also crashed out as well. So they were the casualties of an otherwise very calm, assured performance.
It looked like we were going to have a good race early on with a whole group up the front until Pirapong Boonlert, of course, put his hammer down and showed everyone what he could do. But he needs to with a team manager like that. Richie Wee from Moto 125 GP fame, his team manager, you've got to show what he can do. But then, big crash there from the number 27, Andy Farid Izzadar. He went down. That was the end of his day. It's a pity because he looked like he was in for a good shot at the podium when that happened. So unfortunately for him, the ball was away. Adam Noradin was out there doing the best that he could as well. He got pole position, but he was asking questions at this time of the race, Des. Can I do this or not? Because the two Yamahas out front were pulling away.
But there was a mistake, and Kazma Daniel alluded to it in his post-race interview. One mistake by Kazma. Pirapong was gone.
Exactly, and Pirapong rode the perfect race here at Sepang this weekend. He got that gap, and it was too hard to close down. At that point, it was Pirapong's race to win and Kazma Daniel's to lose. So everyone, I think, I don't know what you think, but they just settled for the positions they had. Pirapong took first, Kazma Daniel second, and of course it was Noradin, our poleman, third.
Hakim Anwar beating Helmi Azman in the Musashi Bunchu Honda battle, but for P4. As we move on to the podium, and the top three, two Yamahas and Pirapong, of course, three Yamahas. Hongleong Yamaha, Yamaha Thailand, and SIK Junior ZK Racing. So good for that particular manufacturer. And Pirapong Boonlert, he's the last onto the podium. Big smiles already from Kazma Daniel, who's a rich talent and gave a very good paced interview. But it's going to be the Thai national anthem that we listen to next.
For the national anthem of Thailand.
Prizes will be handed out by Teiji Okamoto, the Managing Director of Idemitsu Lube Asia Pacific. Again, our thanks to them for sponsoring this particular round. It's round 1 of 7 of the 2019 Asia Road Racing Championship Series. It takes us to Thailand, it takes us to Australia, Adelaide. It takes us to Korea for the first time. It takes us to the fabulous venue at Suzuka. And for a second time, we'll come back to Sepang and Chang. And Kazma Daniel, by the end of the season, will be hoping that that smile is because he's right at the very top of the standings. But Pirapong Boonlert is going to take a lot of knocking off top spot, one feels. And the team prize goes to Yamaha Thai Racing Team. And Yamaha dominance over the Honda. Honda will want to do something about that, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. The CBR has been around for a little while now. it has had the rules relaxed a little bit this year, so they can actually do a little bit more to it to make it more competitive. So let's hope that we can see them up the front.
Malaysia 3, Malaysia 2, Pirapong Boonlert for Thailand in P1 in the first race of the season in the ARRC SuperSports 600cc. We're going to go for a quick commercial break. Do not go away though, because the highlight of the season is coming up after a short break. We have got the 1000 cc's. The big boys make their debut in the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championship. That's coming up in just 2 minutes' time.